Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing? Let's see who's here. I know I've seen Tommy and Scott and Logan. And Logan said the ladies went out, left you unsupervised. That could be dangerous, right? Thanks, Scott, for posting everything. Yeah, so here's, I need some Baileys for that. What did I watch? I tried to catch up on Logan and Jamie's deal this morning. I think I watched 2 or 3. I'm one behind, I think. But I did watch the latest one, and it was good to see Jamie feeling better. And now that she's out running amok, you also left them unsupervised. You look at it both ways, right? So and you went over. Did you go over 1,000? You went over 1,000 subs, right? If I'm not mistaken. I put out the other video this morning, the part 2, and both of them did. I mean, for me, I don't know what exactly. For me, they did. They're doing good for Got to Love Thailand channel. Let's see, where's dashboard? Yeah, because it's got a mark 4 of 10 this morning because it's gotten 43 views in an hour and 27 minutes, and then the other one did part 1 252 views. That's a lot for me, especially on the deal, and then having that damn camera issue. That's why I've got out here. I've got my M3. I think I'm going to start maybe shooting with this a little bit more, and I got it out. I did pull the 7 out of the cobwebs, and because I've got that, they're doing the koi pond up front, which probably why I'm not going to be really long today. Maybe an hour. It depends on. Hey, Verna, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and hope you're doing well. Excuse me. Noses. Hey, Baldy, how are you? 800. So you need watch hours. So you need to do those live streams and get people to get 8, 10 people, whatever you can get for an hour, and hit it in 10-hour chunks. I was actually, I had my watch hours before I even had my 1,000 subs. Yes, congratulations. Doing well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I know that you moved and did a bunch of stuff, so let's hope 2024 is good for everybody. And I think it will be. I've got a pretty good feeling on the year, so I'm hoping. I think it's going to be good for everybody. I think it's going to be a good year. And since Baldy was here, I know you put it in there. Thanks, Baldy, for the meetup when he said the middle of March, and I've got some other stuff on that. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go to the end of the month, and then I'm gonna make either on a live stream or whatever. We'll talk about it some more, and then make up a final decision. I got to see if I can get a hold of Robert Mack he pops in this morning, or I got to call him. I think I still have his phone number. He wanted to get together. I believe his wife is meeting up with him from Vietnam today. I think he said Friday. And I don't think many people can. Expect the last 2-3 years, right? Um, weren't the best. So it'll get better. I'm hoping. That's what I believe. I believe it will. Hey, traveler, how are you? Glad you could make it. Um, yeah. So the guy had to leave yesterday early. I didn't feel good yesterday, so I laid down, and then when I woke up from an old man nap or whatever the case may be, he was gone. So I got a hold of my wife, and she said that he got somebody in the family needed some help with something, so he took off. But I'm going to have him. I ripped off. I don't know if I told you. I ripped off one of those stabilizer jacks that I put up and down on the trailer with the impact, and I ordered a new one. It came from China, and it's been here for a while, and it's just hard for me to get down on my knees and lay on my back and try to do that. So I'm gonna have him put that on, and then I think I'm gonna do a actual try to do a real video somewhere. But I think I want to go up to Khao Yai. I think I'm gonna out talk to Robert. I don't think he's gonna go on the bike. I'm just guessing, but his wife is now in town, so I'm imagining he'll probably rent a car or something. Um, so I'll have to see how that goes. But the trailer's pretty much done. I want him to put that rear view camera on the back of the trailer. It's wireless, and then mount. I've got a 5-inch screen that I don't know where I'm going to put in the truck, but it's hard for me to see in the mirrors. Either that or get some ugly strap-on mirrors that go on. I had slip-on ones on my Dodge, and then I can't remember on my Ford. I think actually had those two bars, and you had the option. I never pulled a trailer with it, but I think it had a button that you could push that actually extended them. But this one doesn't have anything, so we'll have to see. But I'd like to get out there because, like I said, man, I was really um, scrap going. Yeah, I got that, and then I've got my mirrorless. I pulled it out. I've got my Canon full size, and I've still got the 7. I haven't had any problem with them, but boy, everybody I know has had a bunch of problems. That was the first time, and it just screwed up the whole thing. But like I was saying, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be able to. Hey, Craig, to actually try to do a video with the whole family there. Um, you know, uh, and going up to that place. That place was pretty. The wheel that I have on there is a slide up wheel, and it comes down, and it only comes up to the bottom of the trailer, uh, and it's completely mangled. I'd hit it 2 or 3 times before, and then going up there, I just beat it half to death. The rubber's off the rim, and it's all bent and mangled. But I got to get the one. That's what else I want him to do. I want to order it off of Lasada. Has one that just bolts on, but it's the ones that you pull the pins out and spin it, and that way it'll give me an extra, actually probably 4 inches. But I got to do that. But I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to try to do a video with, cooking and setting up the trailer and doing this with everybody else around. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But now at least I've got it in my mind. So the next one that we're going to go on with the family is going to be to Khao Yai, and that's going to be, I believe, in March, beginning of March. So our meetup would have to be either in Khao Yai during that time or at the end of the month. But I think the end of the month is going to be um, better anyway. Hey, this is Jesse. What's up? Last time my rubber came off. You had to wait. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it was. I got it because when I got it home, it was nighttime. We didn't get home until 10 o'clock or something, and I have to back it under the double wide cover that I made across the street, and then I parked my truck right alongside it. works out perfect. Slid it right in there, went right in. Didn't have any problem backing it in. And then I got out there and trying to fight with that thing to grab again to at least lift it off the freaking truck. Wasn't fun. So I'm gonna have to. I gotta get that one that swings. I think that's gonna be perfect. But I don't know. It's got a plastic there, and the way that the other one mounts, I don't know. I'm gonna have to have the guy look at it. That's why I got a few things to do today. So it'll probably be maybe, I don't know. I say that all the time, and we end up going 2 hours anyway. Dave, you got to bring the. Um, yeah, I do want to come that way too, and I did want to come that way when Jake and everybody was there, so we could all do it. But I might just that might be my next venture. I might just hook up and take a 4 day or starting on Monday. So let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing next week. I might just do that by myself and stop somewhere on the way. And we tried the PTT station, and the batteries were way too low, and it wouldn't have run the air conditioner all night, and I didn't want to be miserable. So we just pushed on and got home at 10 o'clock. But I don't see any reason. I asked my wife because everything's in time. Do you see anything that says, no overnight camping? And I don't think Thailand really has to worry about it because I don't think they have an abundance of motorhomes and caravans and trailers and, that kind of, they do have vans and stuff, a lot of vans. And it's starting to become more and more and more, like I said. That video that I did, if I would have put up the drone the day before, it would have been, you would have seen it was like packed. That whole center area from that drone shot behind me and everything, that was packed full of tents. They had pulled out that next day. And it was really weird because I think it was the prince of some kind, one of the kids of the king was in that area. They had a lot of army and stuff. So when I put that drone out there and I lifted it about 6 feet off the ground, they came out of the woodwork and stopped. And the head big boss of whatever they were, military, whatever, he came up to the camper. Now, you're not supposed to have any liquor. You're not supposed to, as far as I know, fly a drone in national park or whatever it is, or maybe that wasn't a national park. I don't know, but he came over and boy, they were more wanting to know about the trailer and how much it cost and how fast can you pull it and blah 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 blah. They looked at my paperwork on the phone. The only thing they looked at was my insurance policy and said, okay, wait about 20 minutes and then you can go and fly and do whatever you want. They made my wife go up to their little deal and sign a thing saying she was flying it or we were flying the drone. But the head guy was looking inside their big box of Spy Black. I brought up there. Not that I got intoxicated, but I did have 2 or 3 out of a whole case of them. Never said anything about that. Weren't supposed to have a dog. Didn't say anything about that. And they didn't charge us. When we first came in, they charged 300 baht for me being a Farang just to get in the park, just to get in the area. And then when you're supposed to get up there, they were supposed to go around to the campsites and get, whatever you were supposed to pay. And never charged us anything. So they were, like I said, they were really, any place that we go with that trailer, the people they're excited about it. Yeah, well, that's why I got the trailer. It I can go with those batteries. I have a 2300 watt generator, and it's full. And then I've got a full, I don't know what it is, maybe 4 gallons. I don't think it's 5. It's in liters probably anyway. A big tank of gas full, and I figured even if the sun isn't shining, I could keep the batteries charged and stay a week somewhere. If the sun's out every day, it'll just keep going. The batteries are phenomenal, and the air conditioner works great, and it's 24 24 volt or 220 or 230 volt, and the refrigerator runs off of electricity. Um, Same thing, 24 volt, and then around it, of course, 12 volt lighting and all that kind of stuff. So it's amazing how you can just sit in there, and I could. It seems like the optimal deal. I got a little fan. I think it's 10-inch fan, and it's got lithium ion batteries in it too. It charges, and with that just blowing on low on me, and it's set at 25, I'm perfectly comfortable. It'll get it down to 20, 21, 22, whatever you want, but I think that starts really cutting back on the the 24 hours that I figure that air conditioner could run without any sun. Hey, thanks, Jack. Okay. For your glamping. Yeah, the AC. I don't know, man. When we were up there, I had it off part of the time, and it's just here in Nissan. It's I don't know what it is today, but it's been this is the cool time of year for says my services are off. Let's see. 23 it is here. It got down to 19, but it's going to get up to let's see. Today it's saying 32. So it's going to be semi warm. So a low of 19 and that. So if you're out camping, the hardest part for me anyway is the sleeping, being able to sleep. And as long as I can sleep, I'd be fine. But I just wanted, I don't want to be miserable. I didn't get buy the thing and spend the money that I spent on it to be miserable out in the middle of nowhere. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? Yeah, and it is a big conversation starter. But problem with me is they all want to speak to me in Thai. So luckily the whole family was there and they answered any questions and if they didn't know they asked me and then I told them and they told the people in Thai. But it just seems like they're really and they being the Thai people are really getting into camping. Just with bunch of younger kids. I mean, I call them kids. I'm going to say mid 20s. Came up and truckloads of them right behind, right in that center section, and just uh, 2, 3 truckloads of maybe 15, 20 of them, and they all had their own little tents like the kids had, and set them up there, and they were a little bit loud, but not horribly. They had some beer and stuff with them, but it didn't seem like they were the cops or the park police or whatever they are um, weren't weren't out to bust anybody's. They weren't trying to ruin their New Year's or anything. And but they kept it reasonably. They didn't get out of line. I slept, so it worked. Camping here, you'll swear you're in Thailand, all except for the gators. Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I think that people are coming, and I think you're in the South Florida or Louisiana, right, or something in that area. It's very similar, I think, to here as far as temperature and humidity, right? That's why a lot of people I know had said people coming to Thailand from that area or from the Florida and that kind of stuff, like where Jake is at. Um, they're right in line with what they've been living in for the past 20 years. Um, let's see, wait one minute. Yeah, and it looked like to me in their mid 20s, and they looked like they were just having an absolute ball. Like I said before, the American dream for me when I was a kid was that 2 or 3 weeks that my uncles busted their backs the whole year to get off, and 20 of us going up to Bass Lake, and spending it on the lake was the American. That was what I looked forward to all year as a kid, and they're kind of taking that away from them in America now because like my son, he has to work 6 days a week to make ends meet, and when gasoline's $5 a gallon to drive up to a lake, and then if you have a little boat, they're charging you, $8 a gallon on the lake, and you've got 4 kids. Uh, and brings it back to the way it should be, because camping was the thing. And we didn't have the Xbox or whatever the hell those things were. We didn't have that. We played freaking hockey with smashed up hams. If you remember Ham's beer that looked like a little keg, and we smushed those, heated them, smushed them down to a puck size, and we used the little L-shaped tent stakes back in the day, or the ones that went up through. They didn't have those bending ones way back in the day. And I played goalie, and I had the cardboard case that they come in on my chest as a chest protector up my legs. I mean, that thing was whizzing if you hit it right. We could have probably killed each other, but the whole damn campgrounds would come over, and even the park guys were watering down the area that we were playing in, so we didn't put up too much smoke, and that was everybody's entertainment every night that we were there. Just good stuff. All right, I rambled enough. Drove a '91 Civic in the snow in 2001. Saw a deer, slid forever, no ABS. Deer just stood there. I hit him, but barely, sliding one back. He just looked at me. It's a jerk. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know how many people was that part of your youth. Was the camping trips that you did each year? I know it was for me. I don't know about anybody else, but it that's what we did, man. We didn't have anything, like I said, we had mini bikes and stuff that you weren't supposed to have out. That's where the Honda, the CT, well, the 90s, the Trail 90s, and the 70s and the 50s, the little ones they call monkeys now that are 125s. We took those out after dark around there. We were 12 or something. They never, if the cops pulled you over, they brought you back to your parents, and, then your parents yelled at you because the cops yelled at them, and they were trying to have a drink and have a good time. But that was the American dream, and I just don't see that happening in America. Everybody that I know in America right now says you ought to thank God that you're living in Thailand, which I do pretty much every day. So, first time I ever camped. Really? You didn't have our family forever. Yes, I was a Boy Scout too, camping all the time. It was it was part of the American dream as far as I was concerned. But I don't know. Hey, brother, how are you? Hope you're well. When are you coming back? Is it like 3 more months or something? I know you've told me, but I'm old, so I can get away with saying I forgot. Yeah, it's crazy. That's why, like I said, man, I see people. If you're retired, man, I don't think the United States is the place to do it, unless you were just really lucky and had 10 homes that are paid for and big giant place to retire in and sell them in rentals, and you're on top of the world. And you can live any place you want. But if you've got a $2,000 or $3,000 a month retirement, you're not going to do very much in the United States if you don't own your house. If you own your house, you'll probably be all right. But Thailand, at least try it. Let's see what Jesse said here. We had a Nintendo and things when I grew up. I was just too poor to have one. Yeah, exactly. Skipping rocks. Yeah, I mean, that's what we did, man. We went out and played, dug forts in the ground and plywood over the top and candles and bugs and God knows what was crawling around with us. But we didn't. We had, this is how old I am. I don't know how old you are. We had Pong, that thing where you slide the bing, bing. That was it. We had Pong. Was that Nintendo? Did Nintendo invent that? Could be. Could be. Hey, Ted, Happy New Year's to you. I watched your last That's good stuff. If you guys aren't subscribed, seriously, think about it. Ted's got a nice channel. Video he just did. If you like family shit and fishing and hunting and that kind of stuff, the one you just did was the family in Florida, right? The one I just watched. Um, just good stuff, good wholesome stuff. Um, Hey Dave, new to your channel, Bass Lake. No, Bass Lake, California, right above Fresno, right in the center of California. And it was really weird because I was 5 hours from the San Fernando Valley outside of Los Angeles, where I grew up. Hell, you'd go up to Bass Lake and see just as many people as you would see if you were back in the San Fernando Valley. Seemed like everybody, and there was a lot of lakes around us. They all found Bass Lake, but no California. Yeah, we actually went outside and did some kind of sports activity. Yeah, exactly. I'll be in the sovereign state of Louisiana soon, then Thailand. Oh, cool, very cool. So I'll see you soon. Maybe we've been talking about a bike ride or something after you get set in. I'd I'd enjoy doing that. I'm ready. I got to get out and start moving around. Who remembers the handheld what man football game with that? I don't. That was probably a little bit out of our price range. That was more like what Jesse was saying. We had stuff, but we had all the secondhand stuff that you could buy. Not a lot of new stuff. Didn't have. Not that I'm saying I had a bad life. Just had a very lower middle class. I don't want to say we were poor, but I didn't see too many stuff. I was really trying to get motorcycles back in the day. Was really hard to do. I had to start doing my own sales and stuff and buying and selling because the old man wasn't gonna lay out any dough for anything that I wanted. Let's see. Growing up, all the kids in the neighborhood got together. Yeah, exactly. And they don't do that anymore that I see. Maybe they do, but the thing that I think that they've lost in the United States is this gas crap. I mean, you could have crappy government, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever your things are, doesn't really matter. But they all need to, put things together to get the people to have a good life. I mean, they're busting their asses and paying in taxes and all that kind of crap. And the one thing that they should be able to do is freaking gasoline. They ought to be able to do that. And like I said, uh, I as a worker and growing up and whatever in the United States, I would put up with a lot more crap from the government if my gas was a buck and a half a gallon. To say, hey, I had a crappy week, but at least I got enough money to hop in my car, go up to the lake, and go water skiing for the weekend. It cost me $100 instead of 350 or $500. And right now, I don't think they can do that. I really don't think they can. Best part of growing up poor, you learn how to ride hard. Yeah, exactly. Your skin and health is butcher. Yeah, you learned a lot more about life, I think, Jesse. At least what if you were out there running around the streets, and you walk that fine line as I did, didn't fall over and end up sitting in jail somewhere for the rest of my life, but that fine line taught me a lot about life. I haven't heard anyone mention Ham's beer. Yeah, the Ham's cans, man. They look like little keggers. Yeah, and they made the best pucks. I don't know what kind of aluminum or heavy duty cans they did, but once you we called them tempering them in the fire and then smashing them down to puck size and then things whipping across. I got hitting it was something to watch. The people enjoyed it. We enjoyed it, and we were getting the crap beat out of us. As a kid, I was too busy running around the Oz Bush and things. No, it wasn't. Without the whole different era, I think now, Brock, and like I say, most of these places, though, they're making it almost, well, not nothing, but anybody can supply their kids with shut up stuff as far as I'm concerned. Here's a new Nintendo, here's a new Xbox, shut up and and go in your room and play. And I think it's ruining them. It's ruining them. Jay-Z, I can still get veggie jams and canned deer in 3 days ago. I learned a lot from going back to Georgia and seeing my stepfather's side of the family, a bunch of good people, but a bunch of hicks. And my grandmother, she canned everything, and okra, which I don't even think half of the United States knows what okra is. And we didn't have much meat. She had fatback. That was the closest thing to meat when I was there. Well, fish was meat too. They caught the big blue catfish, and my uncles would string these hush puppies that are. I wish I had the recipe for them. They were off the hook on tables, and I watched them live on off the land more in California. We didn't know we couldn't grow a tomato plant. Yep, had to pay for my own motorcycle Yamaha. Yeah, I wanted a 125 Yamaha, and we went and looked at one, and I think I had my Honda 90 at the time. I was only 12 maybe or something, and I had to beg, borrow, barter, everything else to get it myself because he wouldn't do it. And I don't blame him. He didn't have a lot of money. My dad was a TV repairman. We were lucky because he had discounts, things like Atari and Nintendo. But riding bikes and skateboarding with Buddy was number one. Yeah, and I think we're losing that, at least in the United States. Yeah, Pong, that was Atari. That was a game I remember. Now I did have a lot of fun with my kids. I bought them Nintendo and Zelda because I was never good at that. If there was a bridge, I'd fall off the bridge. If I had to jump, I never could jump. But I had an absolute ball as a family. We would get in together. Well, they'd come and see me. I was divorced, and me and this one and the two kids would start, and they would play Zelda, and we had a ball. We'd all kind of pitch in on what we thought needed to be done or whatever, and that was kind of fun. But that was for an hour a night. The rest of the time I was on 5 acres. They were outside, chasing birds and animals and having kid stuff too. But yeah, just the biggest thing that I remember was camping, man. That was the dream for me as a kid. We're going camping this year, right? As much as we possibly could. Uh, let's see, what did I miss here? I think if you ever see something I normally do showing my canning, really no. By all means, you guys take a look at it. Hey, Robert, were your ears burning? I was talking about you, and I think your wife's coming into town. Oh, there it is. Good morning from backseat. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I think Robert's wife is coming in. So I don't know if you. I know I still want to meet up with you somewhere. I'm imagining we're probably not going to take motorcycles. I might um, tell you kind of look that up and see what you think if you haven't been there. Kick the can. Yeah, I know exactly, right? The simplest things when we were kids. But if you played a lot of sports in school, I played basketball, baseball, and football, and you were always busy with some kind of a practice and stuff. I think the kids nowadays kind of gravitate away from, unless you're in, the lower, guys that are going to try to make professional because they're living poor, poor, poor. Uh, and then I think it's hard. That's a whole nother subject. You know, you got a kid that was raised with zero, nothing, and you give him a contract for $150 million, and you expect the kid to be, oh, he'll be all right. Yeah, people are going to steal from him. He's going to get probably into drugs or alcohol. I mean, they don't think about that. They want him to play basketball or baseball or whatever. But that's a whole nother subject. Uh, yeah, I got to look at mine. I think mine's due too, Tim. I got to look at it. And then this next one, I think, is a 5 year. Are you on your 5 year, or you already been on a 5-year. No, you got here. You just got here, so you went on a 2-year and then a 5-year. I think. Let me know if I'm not that far behind. That's how I grew up, is Jesse. But best part of growing up poor, you learned how to ride horses. Yeah, exactly. That was you learned a lot. And the kids learning today, what they know how to play Xbox better than Billy down the street, or what? How much is that going to help them out in the real world? I don't know. I guess teach their own. I guess everybody's saying hello to everybody. My first car was a ruck buck. It had holes in the floor. Yeah, I mean, I had my first car per se. The old man, the stepdad, bought me a freaking awesome. Old lady had a '56 Ford Victoria, just absolutely perfect condition. And he bought it and parked it and said, okay, when you turn 15 and a half, when you get your permit, you can have it. Well, at 14, he sold it and said, no, I decided to sell it. Oh, that I can't consider my first car. Had a 1965 four-door Impala, which somebody had converted to a 3-speed shift on the floor. It used just as much oil as it did gasoline. In that 8-cylinder it had 6 non-fouling adapters. If you guys know what that is, it was your spark plug screwed into the adapter, and it kept oil from fouling your plugs. Things smoke, and I was happy to have it. I was happy to be able to drive somewhere where I couldn't get on my motorcycle when it was raining. But there wasn't no brand new Mercedes waiting in the driveway when I turned 16. Hey, Jake, how are you? Randy's here. I didn't see Randy. How you doing, Randy? Hey, eating my dinner and listening. Cool. Glad you could make it, Des. Uh, usually, I was usually running around the pine hammocks and patting cypress swamps. I did pong and some of the handheld football from time to time. Yeah, we didn't have that luxury. If we weren't getting into some kind of trouble, we were digging holes in the ground. That was the thing back in the day, to have elaborate fort set up below grade. I don't know how healthy it was for us climbing around in that crap, but kept us busy, kept us from running around and cops chasing us. Said I didn't really camp as a kid. I mean, we were so poor that Dad didn't have enough money, and the power was turned off. We called it night, a week under the stars. Yeah, why not? But that's what I see here, Jesse. When I see in you could look at it with a different light, and I think that's what I like about the Thai people the most. They have maybe they got half dirt floors and half floors in their house, and they got a roof over their head, and they're eating the rice they grew, and they got a smile from ear to ear going, I'm still alive and I've got something to eat. And other people on the planet are like, government, gimme, 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 gimme. I can't do it on my own. I'm just horrible because you don't want to work. But I think it makes you appreciate life, right? Appreciate the lights that are on in the house. Appreciate the heat that's in the house. Um, and I don't think, I look at the kids nowadays and it's like they look at you like, not only do I want this, I expect it. You're my father. You're this or you're that. I want this. Well, bullshit. You're 18. Get the hell out of my house. And I don't think they do that. Not that you don't love your children, but you grew them up that way, that's the way that they think. Boy, you screwed up somewhere. I told the story before. I went and picked up my son, and one time, and brought him home, and then I gave him a Jeep. I gave him a 1976 Wrangler. Right? It had a problem with the relay. So you needed to figure it out or get somebody to figure it out. But you had to lift the hood, unplug the relay, plug the relay back in, and you get in the Jeep and start it and drive off. He wouldn't take it to school. Said, I'm embarrassed to get out of the car and do that, to start it up. I said, well, don't try. Well, Billy's dad gave him a brand new car. He said, and the same kid that I went and picked you up the other week, sitting on the side of the road with that brand new car that's blown up because he didn't put oil in it. Well, that's what happens when you don't pay for something and you don't earn something. Uh, you end up like a piece of shit like that. I hope his dad beat him half to death. Not really. I'm going to lose some people. I know. But the kid wasn't a bad kid, Billy. But my son learned, I think, a lesson from that. I don't know. I wouldn't trim. Yeah, exactly. Parents yell out the door for me, sundown. Eventually showed up. No cops called in. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're exactly right, man. And like I said, everybody that I know, it's not just a couple of people. Everybody that I talk to in the States say, you're better off where you are. Well, I knew that. See, I took my kid camping over Christmas holidays a week or two. And there. Camping. You had posted a couple pictures and stuff of you camping with them, right? I don't know, man. It was just sitting around the campfire eating crap. Wasn't like we were eating. Everybody had a steak and lobster. You know, hamburgers, hot dogs. In the morning, pancakes. Maybe bacon, sausage. Lunch was a ham sandwich, in a bag if you were going out fishing. It was just I don't know. I enjoyed the crap out of it, me personally. 61 Plymouth Fury paid 120. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, man, I was happy. Then I got into the weird cars. I had an old Morris Minor, Metropolitan Nashes, the Jensen Healy, um, a lot of different cars. And then we got into muscle cars and had a Boss 302 and Chevelles and Camaros, a lot of cars that I wish I still had. Rola's in school. I'll give her the message. What was the message? What did I miss? Brother Jake. What did Jake say? Did say hello? There it is. I missed it. I want to get up. In case you guys aren't familiar, no, Ron John, his daughter Rola is one of the good ones. Good kid. Helped me make pizza and was interested in things and wanting to learn things. As the way I think kids should be. That's a perfect example of it. He's raised one the right way. Uh, my daughter's trying her best to keep my 20-month-old granddaughter from touching her cell phone, but I swear it's in the baby's DNA. I've seen babies that they can't talk or anything, but they got to have that cell phone in their hand. My first car was a 91 blue Yugo, 3-cylinder, right? I think 3-cylinder Yugo was. My grandmother gave it to me when I turned 16. It was already a hunk of crap, but I loved it. Yeah, you bet. It could hit anything and no one would know it. I think, yeah, when you had the car, man, it was better because, I mean, when I finally, I had a 65 Ford F100 short bed that I finally got when I was in high school. I had my panhead still, and that was the best vehicle I had. And that was back in the day where you could put 20 people in the back of the truck and the cops didn't really give a shit. But I could load people in it, and it was a perfect vehicle. But that vehicle that you had was, people were. I had to pick up my friends. They didn't have a car, anything. Um, but I think the Yugo was a 3-cylinder, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Hello, teacher. Everybody's saying hi. How you doing, Paul? I didn't see you come in. We didn't camp much when we were younger, but we did go to the lakes with friends and family during the summer picnics. Yeah, I don't have to burn flies when I was a kid. Yeah, it was. You always went somewhere, right? I mean, our trips, because we were in the San Fernando Valley, were to the beach. My mom, all my aunts, my 2 aunts, and my mom. My mom had a Buick. Um, my aunt had Oldsmobile, I think. The other two, the big giant ones where you sit around backwards in the back and faced out the fumes coming in the back of window, and 8, 10 of us, 12 of us in there, not a seatbelt on, going up through Malibu Canyon, down over into Malibu Beach and Zuma. Free Zuma was the place to go because it didn't cost anything. But ours was to go to the beach for the day deal. And my aunts would make sandwiches and potato chips and whatever it was, and we just thought that was the bee's knees. As we got to go to the ocean, man. We were in heaven. Yeah, that's why I like motorcycles. You put baling wire, 100-mile-an-hour tape in there, duct tape, and a couple of screwdrivers, a pair of pliers. Got to have a crescent wrench, channel locks. That was pretty much the kit, and you could fix just about anything. And on those cars, lift up the hood now, and you look inside something, and you go, where would you even start? Look at something like that, or my Morris Minor 4-cylinder carbureted. Everything's there. If you were halfway mechanically inclined, you could fix pretty much anything back in the day. Now with these, no, I wouldn't even know where the one that my wife had that I just gave to one of the family members was a 2008. God, what was there was an SUV. Anyway, it had 6 computers in it. When I bought it brand new, and the guy, I said, I know that these extended warranties are a bunch of scams and stuff. And he goes, normally they are. He goes, I'm going to just tell you, here's the bottom line. And I knew we had known each other. Okay. So he was giving me the straight shit. He said, normally I would say, don't bother with it. But this one of these computers goes out, it's going to cost you $5,000. I said, shut up. He said, no. I said, okay. So I got it on that one. But Saturn View, 2008. I had to lift the hood on it once and went and take it to the dealer. It was a good car. At 100 and something down. My wife drove it. Never had a problem with it. I drove it for 2 or 3 years. A couple little minor things, nothing drastic. It was a good vehicle. Let's see. 1 month off to the Air Force basic training. Now that happens too. And I think Logan has got one that just went in too. I think, but depends on the time. If it was my kids, Logan's he serves as if you're familiar with the channel, Going Grays. I wouldn't want my kid to go to war. That would probably be if I could determine, and I wouldn't want him to go to war. That would be the only thing. Is I don't think the government does enough. They do what they need to desensitize you to kill, but they don't do enough when you come home and here, just go to work at Jack in the Box. You'll be fine. After you shot, 3 4-year-olds and a grandma, and and whatever, you're fine. You're not, get out there. And they wonder why they're all screwed up. That's another subject that I'll probably lose more people over, but I don't care. No living in mommy's basement. No. Hunter said better to learn appreciating things given to you or suffer. Learn your own way. Yeah, exactly. I try to tell my kid that. Hey, internet monster, how you doing? Um, I've been through everything that you could possibly think of, and more than you have. So if you're intelligent enough and you got my blood in you, ask me and I'll tell you, and you won't have to make the mistakes that I made. And he still makes some on his own, and I think you have to a certain extent. But it helps if you have somebody uh, that you're learning from. And I wanted him to learn things. And he told me afterwards, like, this is my son, right? He went through high school, played football, was the star and all that stuff, and got out of high school. And he's laying out, he worked a little bit. Miller's Landing up on Bass Lake is a where you fill up your boat and come in and all the little girls and everything. He was in heaven. Well, I'm going to work there 2 days a week for the summer. And I go, well, I think maybe you ought to think about, I just graduated. You know what he said to me? Well, Dad, I just went through 3 years of high school. I need a vacation or something. Well, really? Boy, you're going to be surprised when life kicks you in the teeth, which it did. I mean, he's got 4 kids, a wife. Can't work because kids are too young, and he's doing a great job, and I'm proud as hell of him. But he told me later, I said, well, you're going to go down south to my brother's and learn air conditioning, electrical, something. Go down there. And he hemmed and hawed, and he just wanted to smoke weed and lay on the couch, which anybody would probably want to do. And he went down, but he told me later on in life, he said it was the best thing that I ever did for him. Dave, do you remember Chase Brothers Dairy? My first, yes, I do actually. Chase Brothers and Chicken. That name sounds awfully familiar. Yeah, and we did anything, right? I loaded roofs, throwing tile and catching tile, and loading roofs with. If you had a good crew, you can make decent money. Oh, my coffee got cold. I'm bullshitting someone. Did anything to make money. I couldn't, as a kid, go up and go gimme. My mom had shit. The old man had been gone. Now she's got me and my brother. I forget what I was, 12 or 14, and he's 4. We're 10 years apart. 16 and a half, 17, I was gone. But, she worked as a waitress, man. I give my mom did a freaking awesome job, even though she thought she didn't, because she thought she hooked up with a dude that, beat me on occasion. And he did, but like I said, I look at it, I don't look at it as a horrible thing. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. I wouldn't have wanted to. I never laid a hand on my children, but it wasn't her fault, but she thought it was, which is not right. But God, what did I do here? There we go. But you couldn't, I mean, for her to, I was going to school, had a roof over my head, had food, ate, never, obviously. I've always been a big guy. Had plenty of food, and a woman that worked as a waitress. And my mother was not one of those ones that kind of like wanted to cheat the government. So she only claimed so much of her tips. You're only making, back then you could pay a waitress $2 an hour. And she claimed all her tips legally every year with the government. And she did a fantastic job. But I don't know. And it's, we'll have to see how some of the kids in this era turn out down the road. Brother Dave, she took a liking you and always is polite, Mr. Jake. Yeah, I mean, she is. She's a kid that was raised correctly. You could be with the kid for 5 minutes and know that Ron and his wife did a awesome job. Zuma, yeah, free Zuma, man. Robert's got it down. We did, you could do anything down there and just be happy to be out of the house. I think kids nowadays, well, why do I have to go to the beach? Why can't I stay in the air conditioned house and play Nintendo? And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've been wrong before, plenty of times. Oh man, I need to do a live stream about all the random cars I've owned over the years, if I can remember. You said 3 cylinders, and I remember a Suzuki I had, only one seat. Thought it was a real car. Yeah, that Morris Minor that I had didn't have a passenger seat in it, and it was awesome. It was fun. It was fun growing up in the 70s, pretty much late 60s through the 70s. It was a good time, man. Life was, I think, a little bit easier. Now I think it's maybe a little bit tougher, but I think the kids are learning more. I don't know if they take classes to find out how they can not work and suck money out of the government, but they sure know a lot about it. Going here and women that are getting pregnant from 5, 6 different guys and 5 kids, and they're making $6,000 a month or something. I have no idea. They're making enough money to live by having babies. Um, I don't know. Do you learn that from your parents? I guess you could if that's what your mother did. I guess you could learn it. Maybe I need to find a way to make the what even larger. I must have missed something. What did I miss? You guys catch me up because I think I'm way behind. Um, we used to pile into my buddies and head to McDonald's. Yeah, yeah. And we used to go over to Taco Bell. Over in Chatsworth High, everything was around there. You had McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, all the good food that you should be eating as a growing child. I just never stopped growing. Um, it was I don't know. It was a fun era, man. Cruising, the Van Nuys Boulevard and stuff, and did you get in trouble? I did. Couldn't see a wheel. I couldn't see going across an intersection without lifting the front wheel off the ground. At least when I was down there on my bike, and so I got 20 or 30 tickets for doing that. Cops knew me. It wasn't hard. I didn't try to run. Uh, yeah, I know. It's the mail general. What dress in pink hair? That could be too. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Logan probably does. Uh, let's see. Okay, I met an Iraqi shop owner in Detroit. Left Detroit because it was too dangerous. That could be. It isn't. It saddens me that because I've said it before. I think that yeah, anybody that served this country ought to be taken care of for the rest of their lives. It shouldn't just be and they shouldn't. Now, some people have told me that when they come back from war now, they do spend because of all the stuff that happens that they're finding out happens from war in the mind. They're starting to spend, and I'm glad to hear that. They should. If we save the money that we're chasing people around California and New Mexico and the borders of Mexico, we'd save, I don't know, $200 trillion. I have no clue, but I know it would be enough to help the servicemen and the retired veterans out. I know it would. Uh, did Jason leave? Hey, is Bobby here? How far behind am I? Let me look. Oh, let's see, Jesse. To make money at 16, 17, I would sell bootleg DVDs. Yeah, and I'm not totally against anything like that either. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? To help my family, to put food in my starving child's mouth. Same thing like in Thailand. Who am I to throw stones because someone works as a bar girl or whatever and is making money for their family? I can't tell them that's wrong. Maybe it's not ideal in my mind, but I can't cast stones. My house is like totally glass. It would be shattered. But you did what you had to do, man. And short of going to jail, uh, that was the right below going to jail is where he hung, to get money. And he did whatever. I'd mow lawns, whatever I needed to do. Bobby was up. Yeah, he's up. I was late this morning. I woke up at 6:45. I usually wake up at 5. Robert saying hi. David, have you seen those tiny hot plates that keep your coffee warm? No, well, yeah, I have actually, and and I definitely need that. But this one's quite cold. That would be a good thing. I would get one. Andrew saying hi. Jason, I just washed and started digging dirt in the front yard. You're going to hurt yourself. So why don't you stop now and relax? Next, I'm sure your wife is Guy is running around going, okay, that's enough. I watched today's video upload. Chocolate Man in the van. Found out he slept overnight in a parking lot, literally within really. Yeah, I know he had to come back. I didn't watch the one today. I know he had to come back because of flex plate on that van he had cracked again, or it's making similar noises to when they replaced it before. So I'll have to watch that. Yeah, well, like I said, the one that you watched where he was in the exact center of California, that's North Fork. He was driving right through the town I spent almost 20 years in, within a stone's throw of uh, of my house there. Well, my nephew's house there now. If I miss something, guys, I'm going to try to catch up here. But um, let's see. Bobby Energy is amazing. Yeah, but he doesn't need to hurt himself. He's borderlining on pushing it. And is Andrew sick? Hey, Bobby, I'll get some. And complete lost her voice yesterday. Wow. I'm glad I'm not sick. I don't want to be sick. Hammock. What's Jack say? Dave, I saw that in Milwaukee when we visited my aunts and uncles. The neighbors had 8 kids we played with and drove a new Cadillac. My uncle had a used Chevy. Yeah, you know, God, I had a good life, and I didn't have $1 million. I had to work for everything that I had, and I think it made. I think we've touched on this 2 or 3 times. Is it made you appreciate the things that you have? When you have to work, 8 hours to buy this cup, you're watching out and make sure no one screws with that cup, and if it needs to have its oil changed or whatever it needs to keep that cup in top condition, you respect it more. Uh, and the people that don't, or that give their kids, my aunt and uncle had one kid. He's still around. He's 60 plus years old, and they were paying for him his whole life. Living in whatever they needed to do. And I said, Unc, you can't do that. Oh, you do it for no, no. I'd let my kid hit bottom, and then I'd help him and pull him up. But no, look at this kid, 60 some odd years. Well, back then my uncle passed away a while back. Uh, he's still sucking on your nipples. I think it's crazy. Let the kid go out and get a job. Ginger tea. You know what I had? If for the best thing that happened to me, even when I had the virus and all that stuff, was honey, Lipton, the old Lipton yellow tea bags, and lemon, and better than any of the drugs that the doctor gave me or anything. It worked good. In fact, we handed it out to people, and I bought 12 bottles of honey and a whole bunch of tea, and we'd give it to the people that had got it in her work and take it, leave it outside their house, and get the hell out of there because you just remembered. Waiting for my brother-in-law to get back, and we'll shovel more dirt in his truck. You're crazy. For let's see, shovel, fill a back truck with probably 50 baht, maybe $1.50. Pay the $1.50 and let somebody else shovel the dirt in the back of the pickup. Take a rest. You're retired. I think it's good to stay motivated, good to stay in health, good to stay with you. Don't push yourself because you did that before, and then your neck and back started hurting. All right, let's see if I'm caught up. I'm still not. Bobby, where was Chocolate Man at? I mowed lawns. Yeah, that's what I did. Around the block, I pull my pull my deal, and people would do it, and I think mine was even $2. I was on top of the world, but I'm older than you. 25 cents, I think, was the going rate. Um, I have a extensive transition program in the Army that could start 2 years before retirement. You can start internships, stuff to help you go post military. That's good. All for free, I'm hoping. I'm imagining. That's good. And they should. Oh, I'm at the bottom. Okay. Today, Chocolate Man's video, he was checking out in Thousand Oaks. Yeah, and the one I saw, he was checking them out in Vegas. So I think he's gonna pull the pin. Uh, James isn't the kind of guy that is gonna keep running into problems and put up with it. He's got the money, and he bought that van to see what he wanted to do, whether it be similar one that's completely done, the Mercedes one, the Travio, or whatever the hell. I don't know all the names, but he does. It's not like he hasn't researched it. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he doesn't pull the pin and get rid of that van and buy buy a brand new $150,000, $200,000 van. Wouldn't surprise me. Put it that way. Um, let's see. I do it to stay fit, good exercise. I, I what sweep my ass off. Yeah, but you don't hurt yourself. Keep shoveling as long as you're a maniac. Hey, as long as it doesn't hurt you, by all means. But I know before you were saying that you were pushing it a little bit too much. Uh, I think it's supposed to be sweat, but sweet works. Jay Cogna. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Best of both. Yeah, I don't. I think I think he wants to like me. I'm already thinking about because I hit that wheel and talked about that earlier. I want to see. I have to go out and look and see if it's an axle that can be flipped. If I can flip the axle, I can get probably about 6 to 8 inches of more clearance on that trailer. Maybe beef it up a little bit. They did sell one that was more off road ish. I just didn't like the layout inside. I didn't like it at all. And I think what James, every time I've seen him, I've been watching most of his videos. This is just support him. He's a good guy, and and I like that stuff anyway. I've been watching that kind of stuff for years and years and years. But the impression that I get is he wants to get out in the middle of nowhere, boondocking, and maybe by himself and 4-wheel drive stuff that he needs. And because every time that I seen him when he's looking at something, oh, this one's 4-wheel drive, and his voice changes, like excited. So I think he wants to. Just a quick jump in, say hi between meetings. All right, Cobus, thanks for coming in. I'm not gonna go. It's been an hour. Okay, I might go just a little while longer because I want to catch him and see if I can get some stuff done on that trailer. Let's see. Van life sounds fun if you're 30 or younger. Just the fact that you can stand completely straight up in most of the vans is a deal breaker. Yeah, I agree. Um, I think that is Jack leaving. Thanks anybody that's leaving for stopping by. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really enjoy. Like I said, it was tough, man. It was really. I'm not that good at doing these videos anyway, and then with trying to do it and then having somebody even just talk to you, you know, about whatever, My wife talking about what are you going to cook for this or how's this doing? Can we go for a walk? Just that I'm trying to. It doesn't come to me that easy. Put it that way, but I didn't realize how tough it was to put something together uh, with everybody around. I'd like to try it up there in the middle of nowhere, just by myself, you know, 2 3 days. And boy, I'm sure that I'd just sit there and ramble into the camera. That's why I'm gonna use this, and I'll probably use my full size inside the inside the trailer because I've got a lot more control over this camera or my iPhone. I guess I could use too. I got to learn to use them both. After the live stream with Joe Park. Yeah, I think it came out all right. It just you'll see in part two. The I've got it right here. Where are you? it it started to, when I was looking at it as I was filming something, or actually looking at the front, I think it was facing at me. I could see it, putting stuff up, and I'm going, God, I'm hoping you guys don't. I'm hoping that it isn't recording this, which it was, and then it would just stop, but it was still recording my voice, but it froze on the picture side of it. So I don't know if it, according to Chuck, who's been through a million of them the other day, he said he thinks that I guess these SD cards only have a certain amount of life in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the one out of the 7, which I haven't used much, same card that was in this, and put it in here and try to film some of that pond stuff up front, but inside the trailer and doing the trailer videos. I want to give it a try, just solo, get up there, sitting, watching the truck pull in, and do it right, so that I would say, well, that's a pretty decent video. But otherwise, I can't say that about my videos. They aren't the greatest. Class C. I had a Class C with a slide. We're going to set up a very nice. I had what was it, 31 footer with the full slide, and no, not with the full slide, with just the couch. The other ones had like bigger double deals, and it was cool. My wife enjoyed the Class C. That her parents had one, and she liked that. We had a Class A too, 36 footer with a full slide, Southwind gas. But tell you the truth, man, I dig this little trailer. If I didn't beat it up so bad this last weekend, or at least the wheel, I would. I don't know. I think I'm going to look at that axle if I can get it, or they make lifts kits that you can lift up and just get it up 2, 3, 4 inches. I think would be enough. To keep the tires. I'm still not going to get the clearance on the axle, but that isn't what I'm really looking for. What I was hitting was the frickin', it's just barely down a little bit, not much. Um, not enough to make a difference. So I could raise the front up just a little bit. Then I'm going to have problems in the back. So I think what I want to do is lift up the whole trailer, because I'm also going to have this guy. I'm going to see if he can make the whole deal for the CT 125. But I got to have my wife here, so it'll probably be tomorrow, because I think today's Friday. Tomorrow, and have him look at everything and put in two hitch deals, so it's not just one in the middle. Go through it can't be below, because if it's below, it will just scrape. If you see back in the days, the back of that trailer is completely straight. If you look at them now, they come like this, and then they go up at an angle, so that when you come down, it doesn't hit. This one is straight, doesn't come up, goes straight. So I can't put it under. So I got to actually, that whole back is a toilet, and the before the toilet, I know I could get one receiver and one receiver here, and then inside that is storage, and I got to get in there, have him take it out, weld, bolt, whatever he needs to do through the bottom of that trailer to hold that weight of that CT 125. Yeah, that's what I was gonna get. Uh, was That was what this one's plan. 6 months in the state with a pusher, and out wherever we wanted, whether it be Costa Rica, Thailand, wherever, Colombia. Try different places around the world. Let's see, Ron saying, class C or B is as small as I would go, or a bumper pull tiny trailer like that. Yeah, that the trailer would be cool. I think I'd like to have, if it was just going to be me and my wife and me by myself, I would say a nice 4-wheel drive van would be perfect. I wouldn't need much more than that. But when I got this one with the intent, I feel totally comfortable with the 2 kids and me and my wife even staying in there if we were out like during rainy season and it's just pouring down rain. It's quite comfortable in there for 4 of us. Not bad at all. Yeah, I have one. I should buy more, and I will buy more. The one that I have, all the um, this one here, I paid good money. Bobby, how much? If Bobby's still here, how much did I pay for this one? This one is a Extreme Pro 256, and I don't know if that'll focus on it. Doesn't look like it. The other ones are only 32s, um, but I should shoot on the GoPro with this one. I've got plenty of room. I've got all the stuff on the drone is on there, but I need to buy a couple more. Rhonda, is your daughter the young lady that you today? Yeah, it is. If he didn't answer you, yes, leather trailer. I would go with the fifth wheel if they were available over here. I had a 31-foot Prowler with a full slide fifth wheel, and I had a Dodge. I bought the Dodge. I couldn't get the extended cab in the first ones that came out with the diesel with the dualies. They all sold out, and I wanted one, so I bought it with just a standard cab on it, and that thing was a monster. That Dodge pulling that thing, I got like 12 or 14 miles a gallon. My brother-in-law had a Ford with a big block in it, an older one, like 78 or 9, right? And he got 4 or 5 miles to the gallon. It was something. And I gave up trying to make travel videos every time in the middle of shooting. So exactly, exactly. It was a lot tougher than I thought, Brock. Even just driving, with them going, you can't really talk or anything. That's why most of my stuff, if I'm filming something up the front, I just run music. Uh, Trying to get camera down. Yeah, she was definitely the one. I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, it never stops. No. Let's see. Hello, walking in my shoes. Kitty says hello. All right. How you doing, Kitty? I missed your AM this morning. I slept in this morning. Like I said, man, I was weird. I woke up at 6:45, which is way late for me. I'm usually up at 5. I must have needed some sleep. Uh, yeah, really, really a nice one too. He had the thing like the pretty much ultimate solar package on that too. But yeah, 120, maybe more. But yeah, he did. And Kevin's a great guy. I've met Kevin. Kevin's a good man. Um, um, he said I towed my 26 fifth wheel with the Dodge 3/4 ton diesel truck for my Ford I have now. Yeah, that new body style came out, and you could not find a extended cab in the world, pretty much in the very beginning. So I said, just give me the standard cab. I didn't want to wait. I mean, it was only like a month out or something. And I said, no, I don't want to wait. Fifth wheelers in Thailand would be dangerous. Yeah, yeah, I know. And it's strange, I still haven't. I had people from the very beginning asking me, "Do you have to have a special license? Are you sure you're allowed to pull a trailer?" I don't know. I've been through police stops, everything. Just waved me right through. Never had anybody saying you need a special this or that. Not saying that it's not. I haven't found anything, but I'm not saying that it wasn't. I asked the trailer guy, and he says, as of right now, no, you don't need anything. I didn't like that as of right now, but I figured that means that even if they do, it'll be something that I can get. Ah, you did, huh? RVs. I paid a lot of money for that Southwind. I bought that brand new 86,000. It was a 2000, 2000 with a full slide, and it was all. It was a very nice motorhome. 36-footer. Uh, it was a good one. I just saw Kitty and won't give much this time. on one of Faw's live stream. I had to subscribe. Yes, for sure. Subscribe is a good good guy. It's hard with this hand because I have the microphone right there. I didn't have Logan. What are we talking about? How's this? How does this thing sound this today? They get back. Wheel driver like those. Long for yeah, exactly. Well, I just saw something on TV about that, and the guy was back on the tail of that thing, pulling out of a parking along the side, kind of sideways out. Let's see. All right, let's see. I got 16 people. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. You guys are awesome, as of always. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be a lot more now. I think the same ones that are probably in the 120s now, the gas loaded like that one was. And they make them, you could almost looking at them, you wouldn't know it wasn't a diesel pusher. So back then, you could tell, by looking at it pretty much. And I think they're making the gas ones more. I wouldn't. That would have been an ideal way to retire. I thought anyway. Take off 6 months around the United States because there's so many places there. The only thing is, it's people go, oh, well, yeah, that's great. I mean, I don't know. Some of them places were getting $75 a night to hook up, to their stuff or more, $100. It's like, man, I mean, granted, I'd rather stay in my awesome diesel pusher, but I'd rather be boondocking. I would have set up mine, not 1 inch of that roof, not a solar panel, and batteries up the yin yang, and just went off. I mean, you could save a lot of money, when it's costing you between, let's say, on an average, $75 a night to park the damn thing. Crazy. Um, all right, let's see. What did I miss? My van, 55. I'll sell it this year. Spinner van. You got to talk to James. Maybe he'd be interested in buying it. I don't know. I could just tell. He's not the kind of guy that wants to. Even though he says, but that's why he did it. And he was honest and open about that, saying, this I wanted to make sure this is what I'm going to do for a while, and I didn't want to start paying 150,000 for a van that, oh, I don't like this, which made sense. But I think James is the kind of guy that once he figures it out, he's going to do what he wants to do, and I'm sure he'll get something accordingly. Let's see. What was going? Jake, you follow We Are the Russos, husband and wife, many years and smaller. I haven't, but I like to check them out. I was always into that. Solo camping, moto camping, hot tent camping. I dug all that stuff. It's just, like I said, I had the Triumph, and still do, back there, and all the camp gear is still back there. Um, I did it twice, but trying to get down on the knees and putting in the tent and getting in and out of the tent, it was a nightmare. That's why when I saw this trailer, I said that might work. And the vans weren't, and the trucks with the built on backs and stuff, they're all awesome and everything like that. But it was uh, 1.6, 1.8, million, 2 million, and I dig my truck, and I like the ability that I have a truck and a trailer. Would it be more convenient probably to have a combination deal? Yeah, I think it would. But hey, Paul, how you doing? Glad you could make it. I have an Air Force friend of mine. When she retired, her husband and her sailed to Florida. I would love to do that. I just wasn't when they went up. They bought an RV. I wish I knew how to sail and shit. I think it would be awesome. And I know that's what Pierre is big into sailing. I found out. He tried to call me the other day too. It said that I needed to make him a friend or something before, so I made him a friend, but I haven't heard from him yet. But he I guess is into sailing. Probably yes, many national parks have yeah, fifth wheel is like the best. Yeah, that's why I wanted to like the biggest. In the beginning, I wanted the biggest pusher I could get. They were making them what 45, I think, with 3 air conditioners. Might still be making them that, but I think everything's coming down because of that. Oh well, you can't park it here, you can't park it there. No, you can't park it. But I missed that one of Bobby's saying, "Here we go." Problem with my diesel pusher, you couldn't even get into some parks. It was too big, not very. So I'd go to campgrounds in the hills. Yeah, the only thing I was planning on spending 6 months in it, and I wanted to be as comfortable as possible. And even if I couldn't get, I mean, I was more concerned about boondocking and having 50 batteries and 100 solar panels and have being totally self-contained, and just out in the middle of nowhere. But that didn't work out. So I'm here in Thailand and I've got a trailer and I'm digging the trailer. I just got to get out there, do it. And I think that I'll enjoy, because I think I'll be more on the board side instead of constant stuff going on. I'll be more bored and go, okay, let me set up the tripod over here. Let me get a picture of the truck being pulling in and me backing it in and me setting it up and doing all that crap. I'll be more in tune, inclined to do that. I think so. We'll see, and that's why I might even make it to. I didn't see if Craig's probably still not here. He's probably out fixing something, but I'm sure he don't mind if he's around. I'm coming that way, but um, that might be one of the trips. Like I said, my biggest problem is in my mind: can I sleep here or can I park it here because I don't know? And if someone comes up and gives me on the door, the only thing I'm going to have to listen for is get out, or leave, or something, because I can't speak Thai. So it makes it a little tougher. I'd still try the PTT station, especially if I was traveling like that to a place that I was going to be out in the middle of nowhere, and I needed just some place to rest for 6 hours and then get up and drive to my destination. I would still try it, although I think they're probably going to say you can't camp, you can't stay overnight. At least maybe they will in the beginning, but once they get a bunch of people out there and you've got 20 vans and no place to park because people are pulling in, they'll change their minds. Let's see. Had some states allowed pulling the diesel truck and pulling a boat. Insane. My brother-in-law was a truck driver, and he had a license to be able to pull his fifth wheel with a boat hooked onto the back of the fifth wheel. The license, whatever he had, he could do that in California. I don't know if he could still do it. He's passed away, so I can't ask him. But he had the ability. Never did it, but he had the ability to do it. I see why. I used to see guys my age drive in with their wife, and I just scratched my head. These guys my age. I must have missed. What did I miss? Ron, some state. Oh, okay, pulling. So a diesel truck pulling a fifth wheel, pulling a boat, and saying yeah. And that's what I know. He had it because he said it. He could do it. Because I had an aluminum boat, and we were trying to figure out, how to get it up on a rack or something like that to take it with us. We'd go camping together. He had a prowler too. Mine was smooth sided and a 1998, and his was a 96, and his had the corrugation. Both prowlers, both 31 foot, both same floor plan, but mine was smooth, and his. But we both go together because I was working and he was working, but he could. He could get off one time at the Rincon. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It used to be a nice place to go. It's not so much anymore. It's right on the water, right on the road. It used to cost like nothing, $5, and now it costs you like $50, and you can't run a generator, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't spend more than this, and you can't. And it became a nightmare. but he pulled both of our trailers there before because I was doing something else. So he was a good man. I miss him. Yeah, that's what he had. He had the Class A. He was a truck driver. Uh, oh, what did I miss there? As you pursue RVs, say before you purchase recreational vehicle, you should know that the average U.S. national park length restriction is 27 feet. Varies from park to park. Yeah, and that's why I was still out of on the 31-foot Class C, but I did buy an older one, Class C, no slide, just a regular one, and it was 23 feet or something. It was small, but at that point, if you were just using it just to camp, not to live in for 6 months, like I was thinking about it, I didn't have a problem. We took that down to the Rincon and watched all the bombing. Actually, the shock and awe. When was that? Logan will probably know. What year was the shock and awe? And I watched Fox News, and we'd sit there, and I had a couple of very primitive battery backup systems so that we could run a little television. And we sat in the back, just me and my wife, and watched the shock and awe deal. But it was fine. It wasn't like this trailer's fine. I got no problem in the world with four of us in there. Not a problem at all. Let's see. In Oz, to tow multiple trailers, you would need heavy combination license. Yeah, but I seen some of the things they pulling across the middle of nowhere in Oz. They got 3 or 4 of the damn things, pulling across the flats there, or whatever, the outback, whatever you call it. It looked crazy to me. I've really thought about becoming a long-haul truck driver with Jamie when I retired. One of those nice schemes with a bed in the back. He's doing all, you know, I don't know. For me, like I said, I that was the plan with this one was 6 months and then go look for a home base somewhere, whether it be Thailand or like I said, Costa Rica, Panama. Find a place, spend 6 months there. Say, okay, no, well, let's go check this one out and that one out, and then have them both. We had the convenience of being able, the house being done and paid for, big giant 30 by 60 with 18-foot eave metal building, climate controlled, that I could roll it in, do everything to it, leave it, and have somebody staying at the house, make sure everything's good. It seemed ideal to me, but now being in Thailand, it's like, why go back? I don't want to. Dave, I asked those old guys in the class A motorhomes if they need a special driver. No, you don't. And it's kind of crazy. Like, do I think that a 16-year-old kid should be able to have a permit and get a 280 horsepower crotch rocket as a first motorcycle and drive out and around town? No. And do I think that he should wear a helmet? Yeah. Do I think I should wear a helmet? No. I should have I should be able to say yes or no. Kids that are out there in these deals that'll do 200 miles an hour and that's their first bike, I think it's just totally insane. But as far as I know, you could have driven a Volkswagen your whole life, not know anything about anything, and jump in a 45-foot diesel pushing motorhome and pulling a Jeep and head out on the highway. And you don't need nothing special. I think my license would allow a fifth wheel heavy without a trailer not exceeding 19 tons. So you have the special ones. Yeah, I'm subscribed to JJ. If you guys aren't, you should think about it. Dave, just bringing the pizza oven. Someone wants to give you crap for shopping in a questionable area. Just make them a pie. That's true. I could probably do that. Shock and Owl, 2003. Okay. So 2003, Me and her were on the coast. Shit, over 20 years ago. Wow. Um, and that little Class C, just happier than hell. And I think I paid like $3,500 for it. Uh, had a small block Chevy in it, and it was perfect for just the little trips that we were going to take. Logan, before I retired, I worked schedule 100 days on, 100 days off with pay. We mostly bought fifth wheel, but I couldn't leave my wife and daughter alone in the comp. Yeah, for 3 months. I understand that. I was in college either way. Was it 2000? What did Bobby say? It was 2001. I don't know. Remembering 9/11 2001. So yeah, you're probably right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Shock and awe is a whole different thing in today's woke military. Yeah, I think so. Jake, yeah, love JJ Drones drives. Yeah, he's a good guy. He does good little live streams, and they do a lot of good for people too. They put on a couple of deals where you could donate stuff to people that are having hard times and stuff. So yeah, good guy, good channel. Dave, I met a young guy in a Harley shop with a new rice rocket, and the next day he was going doing donuts and threw himself against a brick wall. Done. Yeah, just crazy. I mean, they ought to have some kind of limit on it. Granted, they have to go through it, but like when I took the first and last and only test I took on, I think it was a 78 shovel. No, 72. I don't know. It was a shovel head, and took it down there, and everybody there. That was the one where I went in, and the gal behind the. I got. They wanted to hook my pan head, and they finally said, if you do not have a license, motorcycle license, you are going to hook your bike when we pull you over, and you're going to have to pay to get it out. I didn't care about paying to get it out. I didn't want them hooking my bike and scratching paint and screwing up my motorcycle. So I went down. I think I was 30 years old, and walked into the DMV, and the gal behind her was kind of a biker type gal, and she looked at me and said, how long have you been riding a motorcycle? And I said, probably longer than you've been on this planet. And she filled out the deal for me, said, you passed, go. And went out in the back, and everybody was out there, was on trail 90s, taking the test with the figure eight and go through the gears. I pulled my shovel head back there, and the guy said, you want to take the test on that? So this is the bike I ride. Wouldn't I want to? He goes, yeah, go up there and do this and come back. I went up, got back. He said, okay, stop. You're done. He gives me my thing. And I finally got my license and have it still. But they they should have they shouldn't let some kid get should be a CC limit on the bike they get and I'll probably get criticized by motorcycle people, but I don't think some kid that doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle ought to be on anything over 150 cc's. We had 350s back then, but they need to learn how to ride the damn things, or they kill themselves. Oh, let's see. It's good, great. Did you find 2000? What did Jake say? What did you say there? What did I miss? 2003 Jungles of with a bounty on my head. Good time. Yeah, that was good times for you, Jake. I know they were flying probably in Costa Rica, at least in Nicaragua, back about that same time, right? When I was in Costa Rica, the landing strip that they used to that what's his name used, the one that went on, the one that was in the news every day. Anyway, that he didn't sell guns or sold guns or whatever. That airstrip is now their international one of their international airports that I flew into when I was in Costa Rica. I'll remember his name before. Well, Jake will probably post it up before I remember it. Yeah, don't take much, man. You don't have to be that stupid. Even you just gotta. Uh, they're just insanely twitchy. I mean, when you're talking about something over 1,000 cc's that has 70, 80 horsepower, and and you're not used to motorcycles. I mean, you don't have to kill yourself, but you can hurt yourself really bad. And to tell you the truth, if I had my pick, I'd rather be dead than be paralyzed from the neck down. That was always a thing I would. No, not Escobar, but Colombia. No, North, the American. He was dealing in Nicaragua, and they would fly into Costa Rica and then go into Nicaragua. Oliver North. There we go. My brain almost works. Gotta go. Digging partner is back. Okay, have him get another digging partner. Give the guy 100 baht and relax. Have a lemonade. Want to go to JJ's today? Yeah, and they made that whole airport there is now their other. They have the one in. I'm trying to think the name of it. That's the only one I ever flew into. I never flew into their one in their capital city. But this is the one over by the Pacific. It was about 30-minute drive from there to where I was staying in Hermosa Beach. Yeah, Oliver North. Yep. Take care, Bobby. Okay. You sure I got an extra? We go to JJ's right now. No, too early, isn't it? It's only 10:15. Actually, it's later than I thought. God, we're creeping up on 2 hours. It's amazing how much fun we can have. All right, I'm going to say thanks everybody for watching. You guys are freaking awesome. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. We do have fun here, I think. Everything stays on the lighter side, which is, I think, good. No one wants drama. Or maybe some people live off of it, but I'm not going to indulge in it. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I'll go over and pull up this and go down to my outro, which, in case anybody might be wondering, did Dave do that himself, or did he have somebody give that to him and do it for him? Yeah, that would be Richard of Richard Travels. Thanks, Richard. Hope everything's going good for you, brother. I hope you. I haven't heard much. I'm sure Tommy J and Mitch will hear well before me, but I hope things go well for you in 2024. That's a good one. But I found it here. I'll say everybody have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in this world. And I'll catch you on the next one.